Why are you suffering from aches, pains, and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains, and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild. The power to heal, the future of pain relief.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Another wonderful Wednesday afternoon to you, everyone. Welcome once again to The Real Issues with me, Shelton Daniel, your host and producer, alongside our technical operator, Alton Jaquan Joseph. It is the 6th day of the month of November 2024. And for many people, it is the morning after. It is the day when we woke up to the news. No matter what disbelief, no matter what shreds of rapidly fading hope that we held on to throughout the night, but Donald Trump has been elected for a second time with a gap of one term in between as the 47th President of the United States of America. Yesterday we had a program discussing this. Today I'm sure you'll want to mention it, but let me tell you, I'll be having a guest after the 1 p.m. ad break in studio with me. So anything that has to be said about that, would prefer it be said and dealt with in the first half hour of today's program. I am one of those who never made it a secret that I would like to see him lose the election, but that was not to be. And let me just caution so many of you, including several of my friends, that I don't think it's right. I don't think it's respectful, even in the context of freedom of expression. I don't think it is proper, even though it really changes nothing, for us to be denigrating and insulting the American people, the American voters, and saying that they're racist, that they're biased, that they're prejudiced, that they're stupid, that they're this and that and the other. Surely there cannot be anyone who knows better what's good for America and Americans than Americans themselves. And they have decided that Donald Trump, at least in 2016, we could have said that he won the Electoral College, their form of proportional representation or first past the post and so on, where you can get the minority of the popular votes nationally but still win an election. He did that in 2016. I don't think that was the case this time. I think he won both the Electoral College, going over the 270 mark, and he also won the popular vote nationally. The Republican Party winning both the Senate and the House, apart from winning the White House. So one has to say that in the context of an election that throughout the campaign was being described as neck and neck, as a tight race, as headed for a cliffhanger result and so on, at no time during the night did I get the feeling that Donald Trump was ever threatened or ever at risk and so on. I noted the panels of people, especially on the pro-Democrat media, MSNBC, NBC, CNN, and so on, throughout the night, trying to kind of keep alive the little bit of hope, however desperate it sounded, that Kamala Harris was going to pull through. I always felt that the early results were a good harbinger, a good indicator of things to come, and that the trend throughout the night was going to be just that Donald Trump, the so-called battleground states all fell one after the other like freshly conquered subjects, eager to kiss the ring on his hand and so on. I mean, Donald Trump went on. It is a spectacular victory. It is a one against so many odds that were stacked against him. America is again under the presidency of Donald Trump and under the broader government of the Republican Party in both chambers or houses of their Congress, the Senate and the House of Representatives. We could go on, and I see so many people talking about the gender and the race and this and the racist thing, and they don't want a woman to be their president, etc. All of these things may be true, but at the end of the day, when you are running for election and there are entrenched prejudices that threaten to militate against you, it is part of your political skill. It is part of your political and your organization. It is part of your political maneuvering. It's part of your political acumen and so on to massage those prejudices in a manner that the outcome of what is stacked against you isn't that huge, isn't that heavy, that you can't overcome it. I don't think Kamala Harris mounted. She did well in the context of everything. She did well. It's always a dicey thing. You are the vice president, the second person. And I've always said something which I don't know if I've shared with you. We often describe the president of the United States as the most powerful man in the world. That's debatable, but I don't think it is as debatable that the vice president is the most powerful politician in America. Why do I say so? America tries to keep a strict and distinct separation between its branches of government. So the judiciary, the judges, the magistrates, the Supreme Court, the district courts, and so on, they are separate. You have the executive, which is the president and his cabinet, secretary of defense, secretary of it. But all power in the executive ultimately lies with the president. It is the president who appoints all those cabinet members, of course, subject to ratification by the Congress to prevent unchecked abuse of power and that sort of thing. But at the end of the day, none of them have the power of an elected person. They are all beholden to and answerable to the president. The vice president is the only person who is simultaneously a member of the executive. You listening to me? That is the number 2 person in the executive, second only to the president, and simultaneously a member also of the legislature, a very powerful member. The vice president is the president of the Senate. So this person is serving in the legislature, the law-making body of the country, and this person is also the number 2 person in the executive. That is the only person I know of, if you can think of any other, who straddles 2 branches, you understand, of government. They have both executive privilege and recognition, and they are powerful. You can say they sit atop the legislature as president of the Senate. They ordinarily don't vote, but if there is a tie, we know the Senate comprises 100 elected members. So if, let's say, the Democrats win 50, the Republicans win 50, and there is a tie, it is the vice president, aka the president of the Senate, who gets to put in what you call a casting vote, a tie-breaking vote, and so on. The other thing too, which I hear people saying about Kamala Harris was not elected. Not true, my friend. The vice president is elected. Oh yes. The vice president is as elected as the president. The president can't fire the vice president. You know why? Because the election ticket is always called Biden, Harris, Trump, Vance, so and so, Obama, Biden, Bush, and on Cheney. There was another Bush and Dan Quayle. There was Ronald Reagan and George W. Bush. That is what it is called. These two people are on a ticket side by side and they are elected. The vice president is an elected person. Joe Biden can't watch Kamala Harris and tell her you're fired. It has to go through some kind of process of forcing the resignation. That is unelected. The vice president, I say, is the second most powerful politician. Not the second most, but the most powerful politician in America because they are elected. They can't be fired. They can't be booted out just like that by the president. And they are the only person who are simultaneously in the executive, which is second to the president. And they are the head of what is considered to be the more prestigious arm of the legislature, President of the Senate. Why am I going with all of this? It is to make the point. Kamala Harris would have had a very difficult balancing act to be someone who was shoulder to shoulder, side by side with Joe Biden as his deputy, as his number two, as a person who, you don't even need to talk about collective responsibility, but within the context of an administration, whatever happens with that administration, she says responsibility and blame. The economy is not doing well. Well, Kamala, you were part of the administration. What did you do? What did you contribute? What concerns may you have expressed about it? She can't do that. She can't throw her president under the bus. She can't come and seem to be dissing him and distancing herself from him. She has to show loyalty right to the end, which is January 20th next year, when Trump and Vance will be sworn in. She may have disagreed, but what are your economic policies? Can you, while you are still serving as vice president, come and articulate policies that diverge, that differ from those of the administration, which you are such a senior and integral part of, the number two person vice president? And I found Kamala Harris struggled. Every time she was asked about, well, what are your plans? What do you intend? What policies do you intend to put in place to turn the economy around? I found on that one she was evasive. I find she stuttered. She never seemed to have a clear idea or a clear plan. And I don't think it's because she's vacuous. I don't think it's because she has nothing between the ears. I believe it is a case of how do you come and say that you differ from Biden and you do things differently from Biden when you were part of the Biden administration and presumably part of its policy making think tank, its brain, reserve and so on, to come and say what you are going to do while you're still serving in that administration. So I think that had a kind of hamstrung for her to come and say, well, what I would do is that I would raise interest rates, or I would cut interest rates and this and that and the other. Maybe you can even turn it into an advantageous talking point where the immigration thing is concerned. People, one of the reasons why China is kicking our butt in trade, in industry, in production, is because their wages are so much lower than ours. It is because the cost of their production is low. We have to stop seeing those immigrants coming from Venezuela, coming from Mexico, etc., and so on, because those people are coming due to the horrible conditions in their country for a better life in the United States, and they can contribute to the labor shortage. They can contribute to the skills deficit. They can contribute to productivity in areas where Americans are no longer interested because they've moved up the economic ladder. But these are the people from Costa Rica and Guatemala who are likely to come to work in our farms and provide the labor and provide it at a cost that can drive our economy forward while still being considerably better than what they're coming from. I mean, when we used to hear in the days of the banana, we couldn't compete with the Central American producers because a worker on a farm would work for the equivalent of $1 a day. And I mean, they would be satisfied. Whereas you offer our people anything less than $40 or $30 EC a day for what essentially is a half day. People come to work at 9 and by 11 o'clock they're gone already, whatever it is and so on. You know, you can turn those things into talking points that this is our Americas. We have to stop having this kind of harsh attitude towards them when we are bringing in people from Arab countries, Middle Eastern countries, who after they have settled here, they are the same ones who want to hijack planes and bomb us and do terrorism. These are the kind of things. But I just find Kamala Harris, she did not ever seem to have or want to share economic policies, because that might cause a divergence from the loyalty, you know, the collective responsibility, the fact that she is part of the Biden. If it is an unpopular administration, as many people have said, Biden was an unpopular president, his popularity, his ratings decline, then my goodness, how do you prevent this from attaching itself, from clinging, from rubbing off on Harris? And then people will ask, okay, but you're part of the administration. Why aren't things better, etc.? Why aren't some of the policies that you're promising, why don't we see them being implemented now? How do you expect her to come and say, well, you know, Joe Biden is the president? And this is the reality, you know. Presidents tend to deliberately choose people that cannot challenge them. And you notice that basically for a lot of the time, they keep the president sidelined. May not be the right word, but they keep them on ice. They keep them on the shelf. They don't give them too much of their own, you know, prominence and outgoingness and being in front of people. You don't want somebody who, you know, they're upstaging you all the time. They become people who seem to have an appeal that is greater than yours. Even if they don't intend to, it undermines you. So most times you choose a president or vice president who's resourceful, who can advise you, who can be there, who can be a background person, really pushing things like Dick Cheney was to George W. Bush. I can assure you, Cheney was the real brain in that administration. But you don't want a Cheney who's going out there like he's trying to get his own appeal, like he's trying to impress people and make them like him and so on. He's there to make the administration survive without pushing himself too much in the foreground. Kamala Harris may have had it better than a lot of them, but I can assure you, whether it be Obama, the choices of vice president and so on are made for someone who will not upstage the main person, the main man, the main woman, which is the vice president. So Kamala Harris would have had very little say in what is ultimately done. It would be Biden listening to his Secretary of Defense on matters of the Israel thing, and the Secretary of Commerce, and you know how it goes and so on. And in making decisions, at the end of the day, it's an executive decision. How does Kamala Harris go there and ever distance herself from it? It's impractical. It cannot happen. And for her to continue as vice president, she'll just be further marginalized, further pushed to a side. Nobody will hear about her. And when it comes to re-election, should Biden go, they probably will make a big push that he can't work with this person. He don't want to take a chance. Let's get somebody else to be vice president. The weight of a sitting president has a lot, or any nominee whatsoever, presidential nominee, carries a lot of weight. As the other thing again with Kamala Harris. Like I said, I like the person. Nice talking points, the way she speaks and so on, the way she presents herself. But you know, Kamala Harris is going up against certain deeply entrenched prejudices in America. You know, to elect a woman president for the first time, that is a new frontier. That is a glass ceiling, whatever you want to call it, that they have not been there before. They're going to be cautious. They're going to be jittery. Apart from that, the race factor. After Obama got through and so on, I suspect there was that pushback from conservative, you know, white America and so on. It was like, oh my God, what have we done? What have we done? We must never let that happen again. And so there would be the pushback from Kamala for being a multiracial, mixed race person who has black, who has Indian, who has all of that kind of person occupying, you know, the White House. So there would be all those pushbacks against her. Now, the pushbacks, they can be overcome, you know. They can be overcome. But you got to start early. You have to work for a long time. You can't come 3 months, 4 months before, you know, an election in due, and then you have to do all that work. I believe the nomination / endorsement of Kamala Harris came a little too late, you know, in the campaign cycle for her to have been able to deal with, to pacify, to mollify, to appease, to mitigate, you know, all those factors that would have been militating against her. I will say again, this whole thing with Joe Biden, it took too long for a decision to be made. You could not have waited for Biden himself to make a decision. whatever the diminishing of mental capacity, the dementia, whatever it was Biden was suffering from, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. Age-related dementia is a very common thing. It is at a stage in most people where we don't call it that, but when people begin to forget things that happened just a minute ago, that somebody was there talking to them and they have to be remembered, they're telling you a sentence and they forget what they were saying in sentence. These are things that happen, age-related decline, including mental decline and so on. I think from the very get-go, there should have been that understanding that Joe Biden was a man who came in to do a job, to do a task, was that to get rid and to stop Donald Trump. Having done that, they had to begin preparing and grooming possible successors. Because it was left so late and it was forced upon them, when it was not something you could avoid, you could dispute, you could explain away, you could argue away, that debate performance between Biden and Obama, that they had no choice. They didn't only have no choice, they had no time. They were out of time. So basically it was a case of what is the next best, most easily available choice that is right at hand. We cannot go doing an extensive search and primaries and headhunting for that suitable person. The most at-hand person was Kamala Harris. She was the convenient pick and the convenient choice. And this is what I've been talking about, and so many people have been saying. The value of tendering and competitive bidding. When you go and you just give direct awards, as seemed to have happened so much under the previous administration here, everything a direct award. Apart from, let's assume there is no skullduggery, there is no underhandedness, there is no nepotism about your friend and all this kind of thing. What you are doing is that you are depriving yourself of being able to scan the horizon and to be able to peruse and to appraise for best value. What is the best value, monetary and otherwise, quality of work, resources, who has the equipment that they can pull this off realistically, etc. And even if somebody comes and they bid the lowest, you are not bound to accept the lowest bid. The person may be bidding so low because they don't, they're desperate to get the contract. But at the end of the day, you're able to say, is this person just bluffing, and because there's no way you can do it for so little money, based upon our own assessments and so on. Kamala Harris, by picking her the manner that they did, and Kamala Harris herself did not have the benefit of competitive bidding. They didn't have the benefit of a primary where they would search and sift through and get those debates and all of that and so on to see who was the best. Now, it may well have turned out to be Kamala, but it may have turned out also to be Josh Shapiro. It may have turned out to be Gavin Newsom. It may have turned out to be, you get my drift and so on. So Kamala was the lowest, the nearest and lowest hanging fruit that they took, not necessarily the best. I heard last night in the name of Josh Shapiro coming up. But how could they have picked Josh Shapiro when they were out of time and they needed to get somebody on that ticket and to be able to, as we say, let's hit the road, Jack. Or maybe it's Jill. Let's hit the road. We got to get this show on the road and we have to move. Who's to say Josh Shapiro doesn't have his own prejudices that he would have agreed to serve as vice president, second fiddle to a woman? I don't know if that's the case. But who's to say he would have wanted it? If you had a broader pool of people, Kamala Harris's pick for vice president may have been a more resourceful person. I got the feeling that J.D. Vance was always the guy who was more on the ball, who was more agile, who was more nimble than this other guy, Bowles. What's his name? Tim Bowles, Walls, I mean, come on. This guy, what value did he add to Kamala's campaign? Was this guy like a Cheney who could tear into... Cheney would get into a vice presidential debate, and Cheney had absolutely no time for, what's his name, John Edward or whatever, anything like that. And when he's answering, Mr. So-and-so, whether it is, that other guy who ran for president, he was married to, John Kerry. Mr. Kerry has been telling, is the president, as far as he's concerned, Christopher Edward or whoever was up, and that person was a non-entity. The main man he wanted was the presidential candidate. Did you ever see Walls looking like a guy who really had that kind of firepower, who packed that kind of punch and so on? So, again, the vice president that she went with, people are asking, was that person really of tremendous help to her? Now, I think Kamala Harris did, in the circumstances, a good job. Last night I watched and I heard, all kinds of things about let's wait and it's too close to call. I said, huh? Too close to call? And all those battleground states are falling one after the other like 9 pins and so on. You know, I could have seen, you could have seen the way. And haven't we seen it before? The surprise of Donald Trump in 2016. Although I kind of fancy Kamala more and so on, even though I think on the whole her performance, you have to say, losing, not just the presidential race, but losing both, the bicameral race for the House, for Congress, House of Representatives, Senate, and so on. And I mean, getting basically shellacked just about everywhere. Donald Trump is back. Only time will tell. Some of the things he said he's going to do, whether they were just excitement things to rouse and rile up his base about how he'll deport people. When Donald Trump comes in, businessman that he is and so on, who I'm sure is good for the deal of a few Hispanic workers to work for him below price, is he really going to kick them out and cripple the U.S. labor market and so on? Is he really going to come and to impose tariffs upon China and so on, knowing how this will increase the cost of goods inside the United States? Is he going to antagonize China when a good diplomat would want to hold China close to dislodge China from its, quasi-alliance with Russia in the whole Ukraine and other matters and so on? Is he going to try to shatter the alliance? What's he going to do with Iran? What's he going to do with Israel, the Palestinians and so on? Maybe a lot of the things that he threatens and so on, they were just things to, whip up the fervor and so on, whip up the fervor in his favor. But he probably is not going to do it, but only time will tell. People, you all would have heard me on that before. You cannot move ahead too far of the people that you consider to be your base, to be your audience, to be your gallery, to be your support and so on. You have to move with them. You may consider that conservative Christian people that they're backward and you have to, give them a shake up so that they can wake up and move with the times and so on. I'm telling you, America is the country in the world that has the highest concentration of conservative people, especially based on religion, based on faith, particularly the Christian faith. It has the highest concentration of serious believing Christians in the world. Whatever you say about them, I'm telling you, the American Christian, when you meet them, those who are serious, they're really serious and they really believe it. When they see a pattern from Obama about same-sex marriage becoming constitutionally legal, a victory in the Supreme Court, and Obama like it jumping up and down, dancing at what a victory is. And every cycle that comes up, it looks like the main talking point is always about gay rights. And I'm saying the gay thing has been in the world for as old as man. Somebody pointed out yesterday, the whole Sodom and Gomorrah narrative and so on. Maybe the earliest place we find that is in the Bible and so on. But it's like that seems to be, and it's not in America alone. I remember many years ago when they were negotiating for a new agreement between the EU and the EU ACP countries beyond Lomé going to Cotonou or whatever it was and so on. A British minister who later became a European member of Parliament, Peter Mandelson, came down to the Caribbean, and as if Mandelson, his aim was to lecture, Caribbean leaders about same-sex marriage, to embrace it and to support it, and stigma and discrimination. I say, an envoy, a trade and economic envoy coming down, and that's the priority. Obama went to Africa and wanted to lecture Uhuru Kenyatta, who told him, look, this same-sex thing, that's a non-issue here in Africa and so on. We don't even bother talking about it. But it's like there became an evangelical fervor about this thing, like to thrust it upon people, and it became, and I have to ask myself, it's not just that. Why is it every time in America the talking points are always about same-sex marriage and gay rights and abortion rights and the right to have an abortion, and it keeps on coming up over and over again. And then you have an administration that has a press secretary that is openly same-sex, and Karine Jean-Pierre, of course I'm happy, a black woman to be, a press secretary and so on, and intelligent, articulate and all of that. But Karine Jean-Pierre is the wife of Suzanne Malvo, and they actually describe it as the wife, She's married to another woman, Suzanne Malvo, the former CNN presenter, anchor, and so on. One who I like to see, everything about her, from her eyes to her intelligence, the way she flows and articulates. I mean, Suzanne Malvo is a woman who is as beautiful as she is superbly intelligent. But Suzanne Malvo is Karine Jean-Pierre's husband, and they're pushing this kind of thing. And all I'm saying, you have to realize who you're dealing with. When they see you always associated with the same kind of vibe. There were a lot of black pastors in the United States who were standing behind Obama because, a black man becoming president. And when Obama went and made the statement that he now supports gay marriage, a lot of them, they pulled out. I interviewed a couple of them while I was in Antigua, if I remember, and so on. The fellas don't want to have. I mean, how we can be Christians and pastors and we closing ranks behind a man who going out and associating himself. I just think not Kamala Harris, but the Democrats on the whole have to use this as an opportunity to take a step back and say, it's not a matter of us supporting people's rights and supporting people not to be discriminated against and persecuted because of their personal choice. But how much of it do we want to be out there in front of us? It's almost like it's a prerequisite for the conversation that we want to have with constituents and supporters and voters and the American people. Is our alignment of causes one that is always spooking and freaking out the very people that we want to reassure? So, a multiplicity of things, but we've woken up another day with Donald Trump, as the President of the United States of America. I don't think it has too much bearing on St. Lucia, really and truly. I think the fundamentals, the issues, the criteria, whatever the metrics that people of St. Lucia will use to appraise, to decide which government is good for them to keep or to bring in whatever, I think they're fundamentally different. But I think there are some principles we could learn a lot from. This is The Real Issues. Let's take a break, during which I'm going to bring in my guest, if she's here already.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues, 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild. The power to heal, the future of pain relief.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Appreciate you staying with the real issues on this Wednesday, 6 November 2024 with me, Shelton Daniel. And as I told you, I have a guest who's in the studio with me right now. So without any further ado, let me say good afternoon and welcome. I think it's the first time she's going to be on this program with me. And I'm talking about Miss Crystal Riviere in a capacity as Chief Operations Officer of the Youth Economy Agency, and she's here to talk about an event called if you say man, the Marketplace, YEA Marketplace, and that is something that she's going to walk us through what it's about and other aspects of the Youth Economy Agency, something new, something original, something creative, something quite innovative as an initiative, a project initiative of the government of St. Lucia, headed and with ministerial portfolio responsibility for it, Honorable Philip Joseph Pierre. Crystal, good afternoon. Nice having you. It's been a while since we ran into each other, and I'm happy that it's here.
Good afternoon, Shelton. I think the last time we had a formal sit-down interview was at Radio St. Lucia many years ago,
and we also had one at NTN at some point, which I think Monday may have been organizing or moderating at the time. They were good times. I remember them quite pleasantly. So tell us what's happening with the Youth Economy Agency, which is a little more than 2 years old at this time and so on, and the initiatives that you've been doing. Maybe you can along the way refresh people's minds about what it is about, because it's not something they had ever heard of before. Have people been grasping it? Have they been reaching out for it and making use of it as they can? This is now your show.
Thank you. Shelton, when we say a little bit more than 2 years old, I wanted to make it clear that the act is a little bit more than 2 years old. The operations is just a little over a year old.
Yes.
And the reason I'm making this this clarity, I'm ensuring that people understand, is that everything that we have done, all of the accomplishments that we like to speak of have just only been achieved over the last year and 6 months thereabout. Okay. And I would like to say kudos to the team. It's a hard-working team because we understand that we have a great mandate. When the idea of a youth economy was posed, a lot of people were wondering, what is this thing about? Why would you want a youth economy? You already have young people, you already have an economy. Why you want to call it a youth economy? And now that we have an agency that is actually operating, and it is now answering the question, what is a youth economy? I think the young people of St. Lucia now can tell you in their own words the importance of an agency dedicated to their economic development. And we would like to say that if you can imagine a St. Lucia that whose economy is based on the creativity, the energy, the tenacity of young people, you can then imagine a St. Lucia that will be going forward. Young people have they're risk takers. They're the ones who usually don't have a mortgage and they don't have children to think of feeding and so on. And the things that hold us back as older people, the things that keep us in line, because we know that at the end of the month that we have certain obligations that we have to meet. Young people usually, they're gung-ho about life. They feel like the world is their oyster and they're about to occupy the space. And that's what we see every day when young people walk into the doors of the agency. young people who are excited about life, who have great dreams, and all they want is a team of people who believe in those dreams and can also fund those dreams so that those dreams can become a reality. And we hope that in the next 10 years, in the next 15, 20, or even more, that we will be able to see millionaires who came out of the Youth Economy Agency.
Wonderful, wonderful, And I think this is one of the things that the young people have, an abundance of hope, or even a sense of invincibility and immortality. They're not fretting, they feel young, they feel they'll always be young, they have the energy. So, they're ready to go all out and all in,
Exactly. Because if we give them the impression that if you start a business and you have failed, you have now learned one way not to do it. Not that you're a failure. You have just learned one way not to do it. And now you can go again. Start over, start up again, dust yourself off, and don't do it that way in the future. Try another way and you can be successful. And so for young people between the ages of 15 to 35, the Youth Economy Agency exists to support your dreams. Between 15 and 18, we cannot legally enter into an agreement with you to give you money. Okay, that's the law. But we do provide training and mentorship for young people between the ages of 15 and 18. Between 18 and 35, you can apply for funding, financing, that is a grant or a loan, where with the grant, you can get up to 5,000 EC dollars to inject into your business idea or your existing business. Business idea, because some people have an idea that they have not yet started. They didn't have the money to start up, or they didn't have the support from home or from the friend circle to be able to start that business. And sometimes you have a passion that is burning within you, and all you need is hope and a team that has hope with you. There are young people who have been operating their businesses for the last possibly 5 to 10 years or even less, and they didn't even recognize that it was a business. They just know that they're doing this thing that is a hobby, and they sometimes get paid for it. We encourage them to come in to fund their hobbies, because hobbies into entrepreneurship and skills into business, that is our tagline.
Can you give us some of the examples of the areas that you're helping them to turn into structured enterprises, if I can say so, that young people may be, involved in and so on? I mean, I find guys in the parking lots of, business places, malls and so on, who come and they say, sir, can we shine your headlights for you? We notice that they look a little, fuzzy and so on, and we can cause you to see so much better, and we can give you a demonstration. We can do one light for you for free, so you can see how well it comes out and so on. Would that be the kind of thing that maybe they can turn? We
ensure that your business idea is viable. We understand that some people who don't really understand how we work sometimes criticize us and say that we're throwing money at people. We're not. We ensure that the business idea is viable in the sense that it is something that you can continue thereafter and build for it, so that you can feed yourself and possibly feed your family, right? So you have young people who have fantastic ideas. For example, there was a young person who came in with the idea for her to make, can't remember, it was not Monster, but one of those drinks, like
energy drinks,
like one of those energy cocktails from one of the energy drinks. And what we told her was, that's a fantastic idea, yes, but is it sustainable? Can you literally every single month of the year make money off of a cocktail from an energy drink? And the answer is no.
Which is already something that has its own branding and marketing. And with so many bars, probably, a trained barman knows how to mix so many things and do all of that. Can you
So our business support officers guide you. They will take your idea and help you understand your idea and help you figure out how you can perfect that idea. So we're not the kind of people that will tell you your idea is not good, because we don't want for young people to feel like here is another place that they have come to, and for somebody to tell them that you're not good enough, right? We take the idea, We help you understand your idea. We give you further training and mentorship so that that business can be a viable business. So we have young people who are producing, for example, moringa cheese instead of guava cheese. So in addition to guava cheese, moringa cheese, cashew nuts brickle, including peanut brickle and so on. So they are now expanding their business beyond just what they came with, and we help them build their customer base and so on. We the young lady who wanted to do the cocktail that I alluded to earlier,
Right.
we've tried to help her understand how to think of not just that one product, but her business in terms of a broader product, so that she can have a proper viable business, and possibly that cocktail could be the standout. But she has a fantastic business that is surrounding that in order for it to be successful.
Okay. So do you have some preferred areas that you would, if young people reach out to you, are there some preferred areas that you would have pre-approved is not a word, but you'd have pre-evaluated and said, okay, these are the areas that if they come to, we would give them the encouragement, that you have a list of things where we would say to them, your cocktail thing may not be something, but we have some areas that's undersubscribed or people don't go up, that we see great opportunities.
We see a lot of undersubscribed areas. We see a lot of undersubscribed sectors. But at the same time, these young people are coming in with their own ideas. We will guide, but we will not tell you you're not going to get funding because you're not, for example, getting money. For example, you don't have your business in tourism. Okay. Because what you may be doing is killing somebody's dream. When we first saw the first food truck go up outside the Bonte area, not everybody would have thought that food truck, that one lonely food truck, would become what we now have as the food truck community that we have in Boseja right now. So if somebody had killed that dream and tell them, what, you want to establish a food truck outside of the People Bonte area, then we would have killed it, and then we would not have what we have now. Okay. You understand?
What seems to be an entire industry or sector that has evolved from it.
Exactly.
What about if a young person comes to you and they have this idea, they have this, and they're passionate about it, and they maybe even already have a start in it, but where they want to take it, you recognize that there could be some deficits in terms of knowledge, education, training.
We also fund training for you.
Tell us a bit more about that, because I see you have a list about the training areas, the grants and so on. And like I said, don't wait for my questions. This is something where,
we guide you. When it comes to training, our training and development department works very closely for our business development department. Okay. So the business development department is the first department a lot of young people who come in for financing would engage with. The interviews are conducted and then the gaps are recognized. And for example, Introduction to Bookkeeping, that training program, was a program that came out of the recommendation of the business development department, because a lot of young people who had businesses who were already making money could not answer the simple question about cash flow. What is your cash flow for the week? They knew they were making money, they knew they were spending money, but they had no clue about record keeping, and their bookkeeping, record keeping was poor or non-existent. So we recognize gaps, and our training and development department develop training programs to address those gaps in our young people.
All right. So the training areas I see on this little synopsis that I was given, do you mind if I read it?
Yes, please. And those are just the ones that we have already done. We have many more to come.
Okay. And they are introduction to business planning, introduction to bookkeeping, fundamentals of digital marketing. There is also introduction to investment. Wow, some heavy stuff there. Costing and pricing. Oh, this one, when I saw it, I said, that's something a lot of us are weak in, costing and pricing.
A young lady was doing specialized dominoes, right? As in your wife feeling like, you love dominoes. She's going to get a picture of you and make you a specialized domino set for your birthday, right? And she'd been doing this, and her stuff was in such high demand, she was even exporting. When she did our introduction to business planning training, she then realized that the reason she wasn't making money is because the cost of creating her product was higher than what she was selling it for.
Wow.
Yeah. So when we develop training programs like Introduction to Business Planning and Costing and Pricing, it's because there are so many young people who they're operating. They know they're selling, they know people are paying them, but they don't understand why they can't break even.
Yeah, they don't really know where they are at any given time. Yes, I'm doing this, everybody wants it, but I don't seem to be making profit.
Exactly. And so those training programs, like I said, to address the gaps. And next year, God willing, you will see things like product development, customer service, because a lot of people complain about the attitudes of our young people. So you will see customer service in addition to fundamentals to digital marketing. You'll also see sales and marketing. We're going to be doing food handling. And we're going to be partnering a lot more with other agencies and departments in order for us to ensure that our young people in all of the various sectors, including so many of them who are in agro-processing, understand and get training in their areas.
Okay, wonderful. And the whole costing and pricing thing, folks, you'd have heard me talk about it on The Real Issues. Many of our people, they price themselves out of business either by pricing in a manner that does not enable them to recover their cost of production, their materials, and other people, they charge based upon what they need at the time or what they think the person can pay. Very often they overcharge and so on, and then people get put off by that, and you lose, the customers.
And let's not forget those who do not pay themselves.
Exactly.
So there you are costing, and you haven't taken into consideration your labor, and so you're not making money. Right. And you're supposed to be in business to be able to make money. Right.
The mentorship program, 6 to 4 months. Exactly how does the mentorship?
So our mentorship program is exciting. I'm excited always about our mentorship program because what we have done is that we have engaged people who are themselves professionals in their field, not 5 years and 2 years professionals. People who have been in the field for 10, 15 years in many different areas: human resource management, sales and marketing, finance management, financial managers, and so on. Retired bankers, retired businessmen and women, people who have ran their businesses successfully for many years are part of our mentorship program. And what we do is that we pair our mentors with mentees, young people who have businesses, who are clients of the Youth Economy Agency, so that for 4 to 6 months they have to meet a certain quota every month of sit down and visits with their mentors. The mentors go into their businesses. There are some mentors who have gone as far as setting up pop-up shops for these young people in order to help them grow their customer base. And so what you cannot learn in the classroom, you will learn in the mentorship program, because your mentors will help you grow your business in real time with real life experiences. These are not people who learn the theory of business management. And not to knock anybody who's teaching business management, because I was once a teacher, right? There is a place for theory. Okay. But then there is also a place for practical knowledge. And what the mentorship program does is give that hand-holding for 4 to 6 months.
It's almost like what we would otherwise ordinarily call an internship kind of thing.
Exactly.
Okay, all right. Exactly. This is very good. General information, folks. The Youth Economy Agency was established on 10th August 2022 by an act to provide young people an economic space to turn hobbies into entrepreneurship and skills into business. Youth Economy Act 2022. And that's taken from page 1. And as Crystal pointed out to you, the enabling legislation, that act, was passed a little more than 2 years ago. But the actual operationalizing of the Youth Economy Office, the agency which is on Chaussee Road and for which she is the Chief Operating Officer, did not come into functional existence to actually be receiving and helping people until about a year and a half ago. So we must bear this in mind. But they've done a lot under this act. The agency is mandated to provide financing for the provision of loans and grants for the purchase of equipment for an existing and a viable micro business enterprise, the refurbishment of equipment and smart technologies, the provision of working capital, the provision of support for new and emerging economic sectors in the blue, orange, and green economies, and participating in sports activities. Additionally, the agency is mandated to provide tax reliefs and exemption on imports, including fixtures and fittings, imports of alternative energy and energy-saving equipment, devices and fittings for approved projects, and exemption from the payment of value-added tax on building material, furniture, equipment, and locally produced art and craft, and from the payment of corporation tax. Who do we serve? Young people between the ages of 15 and 35, but of course Crystal explained that at 15 you are not legally empowered to enter into negotiating grants and financial thing, because at the end of the day you don't pay it back what you're supposed to, the loan component, or there's a grant component and so on. You need to have some legal standing for you to be able to deal at that level with those things. The financing, grants, that is, you don't have to pay that back, up to $5,000, loans up to $30,000, and that EC dollars with an affordable interest rate of 3% per annum. So if they give you a $40,000 disbursement and they tell you, okay, the loan component of it is $30,000 and the grant component is $5,000, well, $35,000 and $5,000, so that makes $40,000. You understand that you only have to pay back the $35,000 and at a interest rate of 3% per annum. So, on every $100, $3, is what you'll be paying as interest per year and so on. And I think we can easily work out what that is and so on. So Crystal has laid it out for us. Let me see if we have enough time before the break. So we'll ask you to talk about the actual YEA, Youth Economy Agency Marketplace.
So we have, just to give you some really fun numbers, we have since April 2023, injected approximately $3.8 million into the economy of St. Lucia through grant funding. Okay? And so we have so many clients, 901 approved grants. From then, we want to give the clients an opportunity to market and to grow their customer base. And that is why we're having the YEA Marketplace. Because as for what you said, it is incumbent on us for us to help them with marketing according to the mandate. So how are we going to do that? We're going to give them the opportunity to set up in Constitution Park and to sell their wares, their goods, and also market, advertise their services. On 22nd November, which is the start of Christmas in St. Lucia because it's St. Cecilia's Day. By the way, St. Lucians, you're supposed to put up your Christmas tree after that, not after Jamaica. I'm kidding, but you understand what I mean? On St. Cecilia's Day, we're going to have the marketplace, and we want to do two things. We also want to highlight, promote the talent of our young entrepreneurs, and so we're calling it Sounds of Youth Innovation, where we're going to give some of our clients who are artists an opportunity to grace the stage and bless Castries with their talent.
Okay.
So it is twofold. The YEA Marketplace will be featuring our young artists, and it will give about 40 of our clients the opportunity to put on display their products. And these are people who own businesses. These are not youth economy owned businesses. These are people who have been supported by the agency through grants, and they will be able to sell their products. So you need to walk with money for the things that you may like to see. Just in front of Christmas, you might even get a young person whose baking skills have impressed you, and you may want to order a cake or two because it will be black cake season.
Okay, why St. Cecilia's Day? Is it because of the musical component that will be there that you?
So last year we had just maybe about 3 or 4 of our young people perform in front of our little office on Chaussee Road. Oh, you realize, but wait, we have such talent. Let's put them on a bigger stage. And so we thought of Constitution Park, and then we were like, but if we're going to be in Constitution Park, all of this space, might as well make it a marketplace for our young people to sell their products. We always talk to them about marketing. We have always spoken to them about growing their customer base, because without customers, how are you going to grow your business? So give you the ripe opportunity for you to be able to do both. A, put the talent on display. B, for us to be able to showcase to St. Lucia that these are the products of the Youth Economy Agency.
Wonderful, wonderful, great stuff. The goal of this event, Year Marketplace, Youth Economy Agency Marketplace, that will be Friday, 22nd November 2024, St. Cecilia's Day, and the venue, Constitution Park. I've never seen something hosted there that hasn't been big and really heavily,
subscribed,
patronized and so on by people who gathered there. The place completely, blocked off and so on. Always dense, the tents and everything, always a hive of activity. And the time, full day, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And as Crystal told you, sale of goods and services, showcase of youth talent, process of grant applications, dissemination of information on the Youth Economy Agency. So if you have any gaps in your knowledge and uncertainty about Youth Economy Agency, this is the place to be.
So when you come back from the break, I will speak about the processing of grant applications on that day.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. And the partners for the Youth Economy Agency are, as you would expect, the government of St. Lucia, the Caribbean Development Bank, the CDB, and the Republic of China, Taiwan, the partners in everything, including Marketplace. And you can be part of that on the 22nd of this month. This is The Real Issues. We take another break and we'll be right back to continue with more information that you can't afford to miss.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues, 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild. The power to heal, the future of pain relief.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Sounds of Innovation, the theme of the Youth Economy Agency Marketplace, coming up later this month on Constitution Park in Castries. The Chief Operating Officer of the Youth Economy Agency, Crystal Riviere, is with us in the studio, and she'll continue where she left off before the break.
So, grant applications. We have gotten a lot of flack for delaying in our processing of grant applications, and for that reason what we did earlier this year is that we went to the places where we found that there were a lot of people who needed our attention, but we could not get them into the office quick enough. I must start by making it abundantly clear that when we opened the office in April last year, we opened up with a skeleton staff, and there was a reason for that. It was believed that we should use as much of the funding for the agency for the beneficiaries of the agency as opposed to for operations. So we didn't want heavy staff taking up all of the funding, the utilities, the rent, and so on, and then we didn't have enough money to get into the hands of the young people. So we started off with less than 10 people. By November last year, we realized that we really could not go on with less than 10 people. So we had to increase the staff complement immediately. So what that resulted in was a major backlog for us of applications that we could not process fast enough. So from April this year, we started something called community outreach. Under Island Outreach, we went into each community, starting with ancillary, and the last community we went into was Miku, in order for us to process on the spot in these communities. We stopped in Miku. By the way, if you haven't heard us come to your community as yet, it's because we're going to resume next year, God willing, with Denry, and come up the line and go through Bexo and so on for the communities that we haven't been to. So at Sounds of Youth Innovation, the Yay Marketplace, on the 22nd of November, we're going to continue processing grant applications in order for us to reduce that backlog. The agency is not meant to further frustrate young people, because a lot of young people already believe that the system has been set up against them. The system has been set up for them to fail. And we don't want them to think that yet another agency exists within the system for them to fail. So we want them to feel like they matter, their needs matter, and we want for us to process their applications as quickly as possible so that they will be able to get the funding and the cash injection that they need in order for their business to succeed.
Wonderful. And on Friday, the 22nd of November, St. Cecilia's Day, on Constitution Park, Castries, whole day, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. The activities will include the sale of goods and services, and that sale will be by clients of the Youth Economy Agency. That's people who have engaged, who have benefited from its mentorship, from its training, from its financing, and so on. So, you could be in for some surprises. You don't want anybody to tell you, go there and you will see, what's there, because the agency is absolutely confident that you will be pleasantly surprised.
Right.
The process of grant applications. So if you're doubtful and going to the office is intimidating, we're right there on Constitution Park. They'll be engaging you and to disseminate information about the Youth Economy Agency. The goal of the event to empower young entrepreneurs by providing opportunities to secure grant funding for your businesses, to showcase the goods and services of existing Youth Economy Agency clients and offer a platform to generate additional revenue, to foster growth, build stronger community connections, and support the entrepreneurial spirit of St. Lucia's youth. And I like that part about building stronger community connections, because we never realize that this little enterprise approach, where whatever it is that we do, whether it's the tasty turnover that has, the touch of family and so on, that someone goes around with their basket, your hot turnover, whatever and so on, that kind of interaction and so on, it helps to build bonding. And it's a lot of the things that made us identify with our communities in a very intimate way and so on. So this kind of things. Yeah, Crystal.
So if you ever wanted to know where the money of the youth economy agency is going, come to Constitution Park on that day. You will see in real life where the money has been going.
All right, and of course with the sounds of music, good music, pleasant music and so on, music that will transport you into the Christmas season and so on. You've already told us about the amount of money that has been injected into St. Lucia's economy, and how many grants have been awarded, the young people who have benefited from the Youth Economy Agency. Have you been getting any kind of negative perceptions or vibes based upon people not being informed or so on? Because people can be intimidated sometimes that they don't want to go forward for something that will benefit them, but it takes very little to change their mind,
So when within the first month of us opening, a young person came in and she went through the process and so on, and when finally she got the call that her grant had been approved, she came to the office with this look of shock on her face, and she said, "You're giving me the money for true?" So we're like, "Yeah,
too good to be true."
I thought that was a scammy.
Wow.
So sometimes people are very apprehensive. They think that it is just some other ploy and it's not real. But that is the extent to which we get negative feedback, because anybody who has indeed gone through the process, they know that we do fulfill. It might take a while, like I said, because of our staff complements and our limitations in manpower, but for certain we fulfill. And every time we have a training opportunity, we send an email blast to every client we believe needs that training. Sometimes I think the clients get frustrated with us because we're always in contact with them.
All right.
Right? We want them to succeed. Like nothing brings us more joy knowing that we started off with a client from point A and now they are at point H, and we can help them along the line. What we want to do is to build our clients from the micro all the way along the spectrum to small, to medium, and then to a large enterprise. That is our aim. And we look forward to it. There are some clients of ours, we jokingly say in the office that Export St. Lucia is stealing our clients. Because there are some clients who started off with us, and next you know...
That's Miss Sunita Daniel.
Miss Daniel and her team.
Be careful what is about that lady, she's a Daniel,
Yeah, we see them, we see their products in Taiwan, and we see their products in Morocco, and we're so very happy though that clients who started off with us are now exporting, and so
that is a benefit. Did you all envisage that, or did it just come like something which pleasantly surprised and so on?
Pleasantly surprised.
After they develop export capacity early in the life cycle.
Exactly, and we look forward always to partnering with Export St. Lucia and Invest St. Lucia and all of the other agencies to ensure that our young people have the best opportunities to succeed. And if that be beyond our shores, please let it be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who will be responsible for monitoring and controlling and regulating the volume of sounds of innovation? Because there you are under a tent trying to talk to somebody, and the music get in people's blood and it turn up. Nobody will be hearing what you say. Now you're going to do.
So we have an MC. Okay. We have in the house. We have a lot of talent.
Yeah.
And Mr. Ryan James is going to be the MC for the day.
Yeah.
And he is versatile in both English and Creole. And of course, we are a bilingual nation, and we intend on utilizing both of our languages fluently in order for us to disseminate information. And on that day, we know that Mr. Ryan James is going to do a good job at letting everybody know what the Youth Economy Agency is about in between songs.
In addition to saying, Missy, timete na desodla, Missy. No ni bagay po no di mun. Okay, all right, okay, wonderful stuff. Do you mind taking any questions if anybody may have them? There's also some good,
we're open to the questions, especially when we get the opportunity for us to dispel any notions that may be negative.
All right, okay. So, folks, the lines are open for your calls. Any questions that you want to ask Ms. Crystal Riviere, the Chief Operating Officer of the Youth Economy Agency, who's in the studio with us. You want to find out about youth economy and how it's benefiting the country, the young people and so on, what they've accomplished so far. This is your time to do it. 487-9849, 487-9849, and also 4533-911. Till it is on the election, maybe Clyde. It's happened already.
Trump is already president.
That's right. America for
what president-elect?
Yeah, the people have made their decision, whatever we think of it and so on. And we don't realize it because America is such an open book and so on, and everybody can see and hear on the various networks and news organizations what's going on there, that so many of us feel that we have something invested, we have a part in America, and we comment on it and so on, because it's a fairly open liberal society where we have democracy, information democracy and all of that. So everybody feel they have a stake in America. But Americans, the people who are eligible to vote there, they have spoken and they have made their decision. All right, we have a call on the line. Our first one for today's program. You're on the air. Real Issues.
Yes, Real Issues. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon to you.
Yes. So I find it very interesting, but I might just keep out to the real topic as to how the lady you have there. Yeah, you just focused on what I had to say, and then I just realized I just sleep because I get the first call. But then let me see again. What was it again? Because I had already focused my mind.
What you were saying? Okay, if you forgot what you were saying, go and...
No, not what I was saying, but I generally it's in line with what she was saying, because I heard what you were saying. But there again, we talk concerning, we're forgetting about Trump. I think, and the youth economy she was talking about, right? Okay? Hello?
Yes, she's still talking about
youth economy, right? Yeah. So in case somebody, say, has a bus, like a coaster, right? And you think maybe you want to turn it into a canteen. Is this a project?
You want to turn a bus into a canteen?
Yeah, a canteen, yeah, like a mobile canteen or something.
Well, that is, that's a business. That's a business idea that a lot of people have. They're conducting. That's not a problem. Certainly, you can turn a bus into a canteen for you to sell food.
Mm-hmm. But is that considered like a viable?
Yes, of course it is. You'll come in and you'll let us know what do you have experience in cooking and so on?
And production and everything.
Right.
And especially as you sound like a guy who's 35 and less, you're less than 35, okay? So,
exactly.
Go man, go to youth economy, man, I mean, what kind of food, it might be a good job to yeah.
But of course, we would ask you questions. I just want you to know. We would ask you questions like where you plan to park this canteen. If it's on your land, do you have permission to park the canteen there? And there will be questions for you, like I said, to help you figure out that business idea so that it is going to be a sound, sustainable business. But certainly, if you do have experience or you have a team already that will be in there, who will be preparing the food and so on, and you have a plan, you know exactly what you're going to do, that is a conversation that we would have, and we would guide you, and certainly we would support it.
Do you really work with a group of young people?
Do we work with a group of young people?
If the proposal suits. Like for instance, right? Yeah, we have a need for farmers, for young people to take an interest in farming, right? Mm-hmm. Now, for the experience I've had, you have an idea that can attract a lot of young people, right? You would need probably to help this one out on that side. That you have a plan how to make sure that
there is an enterprise assistance program that the government has, which is to help SMSEs, what they call it, small, medium, micro enterprises, and so on. So the youth economy is actually targeted at people between the ages of 18 and 35.
Yeah, right. So these young people are between very young people who are very vulnerable, right? But the thing is, the access, to certain things is not there. They have to do it themselves. But
that is why they have a mentoring program as part of the youth economy situation. They have a mentoring program, and they also have training.
In Castries, yeah, but for the young people who
it's not a Castries thing. It's an island-wide thing. The headquarters, the secretariat of the Youth Economy Agency, yes, it is in Castries. But Crystal was just explaining that they move around. They've been to...
Yeah, we went to Ancillary, we went to Canaries, we went to Soufre, Labrie, Choiseul, Micoud, Deriso, Vieux-Fort. We actually set up office for, and we advertised before, so that young people would know we would be available, where we would be available. And we have several young people in the agricultural sector, some people doing livestock, some people who are doing crop production and so on. There are several young people who are in various sectors across the island who we provide support to, financial support and training.
Yeah, so if you interested, there's the enterprise, small, medium and small and micro enterprises assistance program. There's also the farm assistance program, where they're now providing help because they recognize farm labor can be a challenge, so that they can actually help to pay people to work on your farm on special harvest days and so on. So we have all those things in place. All right, we have to give others a chance, bro. We have to give others a chance. Okay,
give me 1 second, because that what I'm saying is very, very important. So it's like you date me or you going?
No, I'm still there.
Okay. Because I'm saying it's like dropping a dye in the water to make it a little bit more visible. Because I'm saying it's not quite obvious in my area that any of this.
And what area are you calling from, sir?
The Micoud North area. So it's not visible at all.
But we had a town hall meeting at the Passia School earlier this year.
Well, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. If you had gotten to probably one person who was interested in the entire thing, you'd probably be able to get. I probably would know about it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm one of the frontline farmers, and many things are happening, and I cannot get in touch with it. And I have all the resources and everything like that, which I would like to lend out to the young people as well, and even encourage them. Because it's so difficult to get them interested in it. You must use the technique. You must have the experience. Because some people have the nice proposal and everything, and they still need me to do it for them. And unfortunately, I'm not getting the assistance to be able to grant it to them, which is what probably you should give me a job in the youth economy, man.
All right, sir. Okay, thank you. We got a roll. Thank you very much for your contribution. Eusebia Jean-Baptiste on the Facebook Live says, you have confirmed that you have confidence in the young people. Young people should embrace this opportunity to enhance themselves financially. We have a call on the line. Hello?
Hey, good afternoon.
Hi, caller. Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Speak up, please. Speak up a bit. I'm hearing you very faintly and very distant.
Okay, I'm looking loudly. I have a business in Monrepo. I have been to your cinema in Micoud last year. And I'm not a youth anymore. But I was going for that grant, and I've been turned down about twice.
You have been turned down from our grant twice?
Yeah, just because of my cash flow. They said it was not done properly and whatever.
Is it for the youth economy program? You sure that you were turned down, or some other program?
Not the youth, that grant thing I went for.
Which was it with Ministry of Commerce?
Of Commerce, yeah.
Okay, well then, that one, I'm sorry, I would really like to assist and speak to it, but I don't work with Ministry of Commerce, so I can't speak to it, and I don't know. I would really like not to give wrong information. I can only speak to the Youth Economy Agency, sir.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Yeah, maybe people must don't confuse youth economy with SEDU and the Ministry of Trade and the Enterprise Assistance Program and so on. They kind of operate different. Youth economy is just exactly that. It's for youth, We have another caller, do we? All right, Crystal, go ahead.
I want to say, because a young man said that he's no longer youth. If there's anybody out there who applied for a grant or a loan from the Youth Economy Agency, and when they applied, they were still 35, if you are now 36, we are going to process this grant because at the time of your application, you were within the age group that is that the Act enforces us to assist. Okay, so you have nothing to worry about as long as when you applied, when you click send, you were still 35. So you can apply the day before your 36th birthday, basically. But if you are above the age of 35, if you're 36 and above, the Ministry of Commerce has a grant loan assistance program that I would encourage you to find out as much information about in order for you to be able to access funding. It is a good time to be an entrepreneur in St. Lucia. It is a good time to be youthful in St. Lucia because there are a lot of opportunities available for all of our success.
Okay, lovely explanation, Crystal. Keep up the good work. Very impressed, says Al Henry on the Facebook Live. Okay.
Thank you.
Delicia Joseph says, long time no see this young lady. Refreshing. All right. Thank you very much. I'm sure Crystal is grateful and blushing. I won't even look to see her blush. We continue taking your calls. We have a few more minutes before 2 o'clock, so we can take a few more calls if you're up to it. 487-9849. You can WhatsApp call us. And as I was saying to a St. Lucian who's living in the United States, that whether he wants me to pack a container full of Iodex and soft candle and Bengay and Frances rub for him, because he probably is going to be needing a lot of that because of all the body pains and aches and swelling and that he's feeling because of the election results and so on. But put that aside, man. You're a St. Lucian, I mean, you always be a St. Lucian. Wheresoever you may roam, love will love your island home, and don't let the politics of Trump and Putin and all of that get you down. As Bob Marley says, you may be in the cold, but your heart is tied to your homeland, so you're always coming in from the cold. And would you let the system, the American system, the adopted system, get on top of your head again? So shout a big no to that, and shake it off. All right, we're getting another call now. Hi, caller. Good afternoon. Real Issues. You're on the air.
Hi. Good afternoon.
How are you doing?
I'm okay.
Okay, you do sound like somebody who needs a footy. Because because you
I'm
okay.
calling on behalf of a young lady. Well, my daughter. She applied for the loan, the youth economy. She was 35 at the time. She came in for the interview. They interviewed and everything. They asked her to send her email and everything. And she turned 36 and she have not heard from them as yet. It was since last year, early last year.
Early last year, we weren't processing grants early last year.
You all started.
All right.
The same time you all started, she sent in, they called her in, she came in, she was interviewed and she have not heard anything.
Okay.
She's a well-known person, I guess I wouldn't say her name over there.
Okay. Like I said, in spite of the fact that she's now 36, as long as she applied when she was 35, her loan, her grant, whatever she applied for will be processed because at the time that she applied, she was within the age range. Number one. Number two, I would encourage you to call, well, not you, but her, to call the office to find out any information that may have been lost in translation. Because when we interview, when we have reached the point of approval, in the event the application is not approved, we do not deny the person. What we do is we let them know the reason the application was not approved. Maybe in its current form, we find that there is more information that is needed from the individual in order for us to process. Because like I said, it is very important that we fund businesses that we know will be a success, businesses that are viable business ideas. And so we want our young people to keep in contact with us in order for us to help them.
Yeah.
And if the business in its current form doesn't seem viable, we will have advice as to how to make it viable. Sometimes we feel like you need some sort of certification before we can fund the idea that you have. And we do pay for the certification. There are some young people who have needed to get training in massage therapy and so on, we have funded those in order for them to open their massage parlors. So
Yes,
just
but
have
she
her.
never she never got a call or anything.
So just have her call the office 572-4932 or 584-4932, or she may have the number of the person who interviewed her to follow up on that application. Maybe another problem we have run into, and this is really important now that I'm on air to say this, some young people have changed their numbers from the time they submitted the application.
Okay.
And we had that issue because we had been making calls, especially to those first set of applicants, and we have not been able to get in touch with everybody because some people have changed their numbers.
Okay.
So if she can just touch base, it would really help for us to help her.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. We have just 2 more minutes to go, Crystal, and barring any calls that come, I want to give you the time to...
So yes, do please come out to Constitution Park on St. Cecilia's Day. And St. Cecilia's Day, as you said, it's an exciting day in St. Lucia because number one, at about every corner there is music. I love the vibe, the feeling of St. Cecilia's Day, and kudos to the musicians who come out and just bring Castries alive with the beautiful sound of music and all the genres of music that you share with us. We have calypsonians, we have the solo bands, and so much more, just making Castries like the most beautiful place to walk through generally on St. Cecilia's Day. And so the Youth Economy Agency would just like to join that excitement by bringing you Sounds of Youth Innovation on that day in Constitution Park, as well as we would like to showcase what we have been supporting, the clients we have been supporting over the last year and 6 months. Come on out, come with your money. It is the start of Christmas. Christmas will be here as of November 22nd, and we want for us to kick off our Christmas with you. So please come to Constitution Park on that day.
All right. Thank you so very much, Crystal Riviere, who is the Chief Operating Officer of the Youth Economy Agency, for being here with us this afternoon and disseminating information, which there has been many expressions of appreciation for it. We hope that we can have you sometime in the near future to bring us up to date on the progress as of now going forward. Thanks, Jaquan, for another great job at the controls and with the calls. Thank you, everyone, for being part of today's discussion, The Real Issues. Join us same time tomorrow from 12:30 until 2 on Real FM Radio, 91.3 North, 91.5 South, simulcasting NBC Television, channel 120 on the Flow Cable TV service, and streaming live on Facebook as well as on YouTube. Until then, Shelton Daniel signing out.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with big issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains, and illnesses? When there's help for you, at Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven
Numbers for the morning draw of Wednesday, 6th November 2024 were Big 4, 5, 6, 9, 9. The Big 4 multi-expo drawn is FB. Pick 2, 0, 4. The Pick 2 multi-expo drawn is FP. Lucky 3, 4, 2, 1. The Lucky 3 multi-expo drawn is 2X.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no